Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just want to say I'm sorry that I was MIA last week. I didn't post any videos because I just took a week off to focus on my next book that I'm launching at the end of this month, which we'll get into at the end of the video, but I'm so excited about that. So for the last week, I just spent that time working on the book, getting it ready to launch. And so I just took a week off from posting videos. So I didn't disappear, but I am back. So I wanted to post this word last week. I actually tried to post it last week and then I just got distracted with too many things to do. So I'm posting it this week, but this is a dream that I had last week and God woke me up at 4:40 a.m. with this prophetic dream. And the reason why I'm mentioning the time is because it's important for the confirmation that God gave me about this dream. So just remember 4:40 a.m., okay? So through that dream, upon waking up, God revealed to me the revelation. So I had a dream that I was sitting on a plane. I was on a plane sitting towards the back of the plane. And I had a friend with me, and this friend was sitting 2 rows in front of me. So we weren't sitting next to each other, but this friend was 2 rows in front of me, diagonally across from where I was sitting. And I could foresee in this dream that this plane was going to crash, but I just knew that we would survive because I had faith and trust in God. And this usually happens in my dreams where if something bad is happening, or if I'm getting attacked in my dream, or if there's someone coming after me, or if I'm running away from someone, or if I'm falling out of something, like if something bad is happening in my dream, I'm always calling out to Jesus in my dreams, and Jesus is always coming to my rescue and saves me every single time I have any kind of like bad dream. And I just know how to fight back the enemy in my dreams. Like God has taught me how to do that, because when I first got saved over a year ago, I started having all of these dreams. Like I was getting attacked almost every single night, like spiritual warfare dreams. And I was not trained or equipped to know how to fight back in my dreams. And so every single time in my dreams, like I would get choked, like the enemy would choke me, or something bad would happen to me and I didn't know how to fight back. But now when I get attacked in my dreams, or if something bad is happening, God will always turn it around for good in my dreams and use it to give me a message and to send it out to you guys for encouragement or warnings. But this dream was actually really good. It started out bad, but then God gave me a message and spoke through it. And so I'm just really excited to release this word, because I know this will encourage and bless a lot of you guys who might be going through something like this in your situation. So anyways, I could see that I was in this plane, and all of a sudden my dream switched to me like seeing it from an aerial perspective. Like I saw this situation of me in the plane with my friend from like a bird's eye view, like an aerial perspective. And as I saw the plane going down, it was going to crash in the ocean, like we were going over water. And I saw my friend who was on the plane with me freaking out, panicking, and thinking that we were about to die. And everyone else on the plane was just freaking out and panicking. And instead of joining them in panic, I started praying to God and asking Him to save us, because I trusted that God would save us. God is sovereign. He knows all things. He knows before you get into the car what's going to happen. He knows what turns you're going to take. He knows that the plane is going to crash or if it's not going to crash. And so I knew that if God allowed me on this plane in my dream, that He was going to save me and come to my rescue. So as the plane crashes into the ocean, my friend and I were ejected. My friend and I were ejected from the plane, but in the calmest way ever. Like we floated out of the plane without being injured. It was a supernatural save. And then we landed in the ocean out of the plane. And then all of a sudden, you guys know how dreams are, but all of a sudden the plane and everyone else like vanished. And it was just me and my friend in this ocean, and we were now stranded. So now here we are stuck in yet another hopeless situation. And there was a storm that was starting. The waves were choppy, and we were just like floating with nothing, no people around us, no land was around us, nothing was in sight. We didn't have anything to float on. It was just us, and we were swimming without life jackets. And my friend started panicking and freaking out again. So this is the second situation. My friend was panicking. My friend was splashing around, and it was causing more distress to our situation because I couldn't think clearly. And because my friend was afraid, I knew that I needed to have the faith for us. I knew that I needed to, instead of joining my friend in panic and in fear, to turn to God and start praying in my dream and in this ocean that seems like I don't know how we're gonna get out of this, but I'm gonna pray anyways, and I'm gonna trust that God is going to save us again. And my friend kept saying, what are we gonna do? We're doomed now, and having no faith whatsoever. So like I said, I started praying and asking God to make a way for us again and to provide a way out. Literally, you guys, the very next second in my dream, a boat appeared, like it popped out of nowhere in the ocean, as if God literally just placed it there. Like as if it just like dropped from the sky, this boat, this like ship appeared out of nowhere in the ocean. And then all of a sudden a ramp comes down, and it let down this ramp. And so me and my friend walked up this ramp into the boat and climbed in, and it was like something out of a movie. I remember waking up being like, what in the world? Like I actually woke up smiling because I'm like, that's just something that God does. And so we climbed in and we sat around this table just in awe and amazement at what God had just done. Like we literally just got saved again. And so all these people that were on the boat had heard about our story. Like it was like as if they already knew who we were. And they all came out to join us at this table. And I was telling them this amazing story, like as if it was a testimony to what God just did, to God's faithfulness and his provision, and how this boat that they just saved us in literally saved our lives right after I prayed for God to save us and to make a way. And when I woke up, so that was the end of the dream. And when I woke up, I was like, what does this mean, God? And God gave it to me like this. God's provision is going to happen miraculously, and it will be sudden and surprise you in the most awe-inspiring way when you think all is lost, but then God comes through. And it will be a testimony to his faithfulness. It will blow the minds of everyone around you and increase their faith. So it kind of like when God started to speak to me and I was writing all of this down, the first scene with the plane, this is how God was showing it to me and how he was like giving me revelation of what this dream meant. But the first scene with the plane kind of represents like when we're feeling like everything is crashing down and going wrong, and when you feel like you're not going to make it through, when your situation just looks like, oh, this is absolutely impossible. Like, I don't know how God's going to come through with this. I don't know what that looks like in your specific situation. But then God comes through and shows up in a way that you never thought was possible. Because the Bible says that God's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are greater than our thoughts. And sometimes God does not provide in a way that we expect or even think. But if we have the faith to know what God says in his word, that he will provide for us, that he will save us, that he will heal us, if we believe what his word says to be true, then that moves God. Our faith is what moves God. And so then, like, God was giving me more revelation about this and saying that the provision that's coming will leave you speechless and feel like a miracle because it will be so unexpected. But your faith and your prayers have a play. So in my dream, God provided a way out miraculously and gave us supernatural provision by providing the boat out of nowhere, because I had faith that God would come through. I expected him to come through. So my faith was connected to the miracle. And so remember how I said that I woke up at 4:40 a.m.? So when I woke up, I was like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? What is 4:40? I was looking it up in Strong's Concordance. Nothing was really resonating. So I was looking up Bible verses that were 4:40. And God led me to Mark 4:40. And he blew my mind because it was the exact revelation and confirmation to my dream. You guys, God is so good. So I'm going to read you, if you guys want to pull out your Bibles, or you can just tag along. But so Mark 4:40 says this. Then he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" So this is when the disciples were in the boat during a storm and Jesus was sleeping. And so let's go to verse 38. A little bit before 40. 38 says, he was in the stern sleeping on the cushion. So they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to die?" When we think Jesus doesn't care about us, it shows that we have no faith because we don't believe the truth. And in my dream, that is what was happening in my friend's life. Even after my friend saw that we were supernaturally saved from this plane crash, but now we were in another situation, stuck in the ocean. My friend still had no faith, even after God just supernaturally showed us a miracle by saving us from this plane crash. My friend still had no faith, even though just experienced a miracle. And so this is kind of similar when Jesus, these were his disciples, and the disciples were in the boat and they were going through a storm and Jesus was sleeping. And then the disciples were trying to wake him up, and they said, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to die?" These disciples already saw so many miracles that Jesus did, and they still had no faith. They still thought they were going to die. So when we think that Jesus doesn't care about us, it shows that we have no faith because we don't believe the truth, that he does care about us. He does love us. He does protect us. He does provide for us. Let's go down to verse 39. He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Silence, be still." The wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Then he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The storm did not disturb Jesus. The storm could not and did not disturb Jesus. But the unbelief of his disciples disturbed him. And that's why he said, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" He's talking to his disciples. Do you still have no faith after what you've seen, after what I've done for you, after you've seen the miracles? You still have no faith? It's kind of like in my dream when my friend had unbelief the first time, okay? Reasonable. The first time the plane's going down, my friend is panicking, my friend has unbelief, my friend is fearful. But after we just got saved supernaturally, as in a miracle from this plane crash, we are alive, we are not injured, got ejected supernaturally, my friend still had no faith when now we were stuck in an ocean. And after my friend saw that, when I was praying to God, he saved us. And so now here we are again in another situation, and my friend still has no faith. And this is exactly what God was revealing to me when he led me to this verse. Do you still have no faith? And I feel like this is speaking to so many who are going through a situation and you think that God's not going to come through again. But what about for the last couple of years? What about for the last couple of months? What about the last time that you couldn't pay this bill? What about the last time when you needed God's help in something? Did he not come through then? So it's like God is speaking to us saying, do you still not believe? Do you still not have faith after what you've seen me do in your life? After I've given you miraculous provision, after you've seen the miraculous, after you've seen me do all of these things for you, do you still not believe? Do you still not have faith? God is saying to have faith even when your situation looks like it's falling apart or crashing down, just like this plane was, because your faith will produce the miracle. Even in Matthew 21:22, it says, "And if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." It doesn't say whatever you ask for in prayer, you will receive. It says, if you believe. And I believe and expected God to move and show up in my dream. If I would have joined my friend in panicking and freaking out, I wouldn't have prayed or had the faith for God to move. My friend's life was saved because of my faith in my dream. And then God, as I'm like writing all of this down, when I was realizing and God was giving me the revelation that my faith saved my friend, God then led me to the story of when Jesus healed the paralyzed man because of his friend's faith. And if you guys don't know that story, it's in Mark chapter 2, 3-5. So let's go read it. So it says, "They came to him bringing a paralytic, carried by 4 of them. Since they were not able to bring him to Jesus because of the crowd, they removed the roof above him. And after digging through it, they lowered the mat on which the paralytic was lying." Okay. So because of the crowded room, the friends of the paralyzed man had to lower him down through the roof. And this proved the faith of the friends because they counted and expected on Jesus healing their friend, because it would be a lot harder for them to bring their friend back up through the roof. So they counted on him walking out. They expected the miracle. And in verse 5, it says, "Seeing their faith, Jesus told the paralytic, 'Son, your sins are forgiven.'" Jesus is saying, seeing their faith, your sons are forgiven. The paralyzed man's miracle was connected to his friend's faith. The friends you choose matter, you guys. Your faith isn't just for you, it's for others around you. And the miracles that God does in your life isn't just for you also, it's for others around you. Like the people on the boat in my dream, they didn't experience the miracle, but they were exposed to the miracle. They were witnesses of the miracle. You don't need a miracle to happen to you for it to change you. Let me repeat that. You don't need a miracle to happen to you for it to change you. Being exposed to a miracle is enough to build up someone's faith. When others see the level of your faith you have, it stirs up something in them also. And God uses everything for his glory. Your faith can cast out the unbelief in others. So your faith isn't just important for yourself, it's important for the people around you. You have no idea how God is going to use you because of your faith, not just in your own life, but for the people around you. Your faith is connected to the miracle, whether it's for you or for the people around you. So that is what God revealed to me. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I just felt like that was such an important message that God just revealed to me through my dream. And so that is all I have for you guys. And I just pray this video bless and encourage you. Share this video with someone who needs to increase their faith. Share this with someone who needs to be encouraged, to know that miracles don't have to happen for you to believe. But if you are exposed to what you've seen God do in someone else's life, maybe you haven't had or seen the miracle yet in your life. Maybe you haven't seen the things that God has promised you yet, but you've seen God bless others around you. That is just a glimpse of what God is going to do in your life. Just like my friend in my dream who had no faith, he saw a glimpse of what my faith can do. My faith can move mountains. My faith can produce miraculous provision. And so it stirred up my friend's faith in my dream. So you have no idea who is connected to their miracle because of your faith, just like when Jesus healed the paralyzed man because of their faith. So that's all I have for you guys. So I hope this blessed you. I hope this encouraged you. Share this with someone that needs this video. If you feel led to sow into this ministry, the donation links will be pinned in the comments. Anything helps, guys. I appreciate and love you guys so much. And before you go, let's talk about my new book that I'm launching this month. I am so excited. So this is a 31-day devotional and guided journal for the brokenhearted. So it's a devotion a day to heal your broken heart, whether from a breakup or a divorce. This is for men and women. So my first book that I launched, if you guys have read that book, a lot of you guys have read that book, but it was called Better Days After a Toxic Relationship. And that was geared towards how God saved me out of a narcissistic relationship and how God will heal you from a toxic relationship. But this devotional that God had me write is for men and women, and it's not just about toxic relationships. This is healing after a breakup where you have a broken heart, where you are hurting. And I share how God healed me through these verses, and I give you personal examples of my healing process and teach you about the Bible through it. So you do one devotion a day. It comes with a reflective and guided journaling after, because journaling, you guys, it literally saved my life. And I have so many of you guys who are always asking, like, how do you journal and things like that. So this is a guided journal. I give you exactly the journal prompts to journal about after each devotional. And I promise this is going to heal so many people. God led me to write this devotional. I started this over 6 months ago. And so that is what I've been working on, but I'm very excited. So you guys can sign up for my newsletter, which is linked in the description box below. And that's where I will be sending out updates about my book. And also it is a weekly devotional that I send out each week as well. So join the community. I'm so happy to have you guys. And that is all I have for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.